So I've explained the concept of tasteful media. So I am finally coming back to this series that I wanted to do called Tasteful Mediocrity. It's all about what John Piper calls undistracting excellence. I realize that excellence and mediocrity might not sound like the same thing, but the point is basically having and using your skills to point to God rather than yourself. So if that sounds cool to you, check out the other 2 videos, maybe subscribe to my channel. But now we are in part 3. So the next video is going to be all about how to make mediocrity work. But none of that matters if you don't have any taste. So we're going to look at the tasteful part of tasteful mediocrity. Or another term that I like to use for it, musicality. Tasteful mediocrity, part 3, musicality. Musicality is kind of like those 2 friends that you went to a wedding with, right? And neither one of them has any formal dance lessons, yet one of them is dancing up a storm and having a great time, and everyone else is having a great time, and the other one, not so much. Some people just get it. So musicality is sort of like musical self-awareness. It's the ability to tell if something works musically. A musical person can make just about anything sound good, even without a lot of technique or music theory knowledge, because they can just hear if it fits or not. And you can tell, you know when someone's got it, and you really know when someone does not.
You stink.
Kind of sounds like you're just born with it or you're not. So the question is, how do you develop musicality? It's not rocket science, but I do have 5 tips that I think will help. First, listen. Listen to music. Listen to the kind of music that you want to play. Listen to people who play the instrument that you want to play. And listen to it all the time. And this is important. Don't just hear the music, actually listen to it. Like, engage your brain. And that brings us to step 2, which is think. Think about what you're listening to. Try to reverse engineer it. Ask yourself, what exactly am I hearing? And why does it work? Why do I like it? Pay attention to what instruments come in and when, and how much or how little they play. But sometimes it's hard to figure out what you're hearing. So you need to learn. You don't have to go to conservatory and learn everything there is to know about music theory to grow in your musicality. And if you're naturally a musical person, you might not feel like you need to learn that much. But the more you know, the faster you'll be able to communicate your musical ideas with other people. You'll be able to leave yourself more clear notes. And you can take a class, sure. You could also go online. YouTube has lots of people with helpful tips. Don't think about it like you're taking music lessons. Think of it like you're just getting help with the thinking step. And so it cycles. The more you think, the more you learn what you need to learn, and the more you learn, the more you can think deeper about what you're listening to. So at any point, you can actually move on and try out what you've been listening to and thinking about and learning. I recommend trying to find like a stripped down version of the song that you're working on. So for example, if you're trying to learn electric guitar, let's say, you probably want to listen and think through a full band recording, but then find like a simple acoustic version to play along with for practice. And it does take practice. Growing in your musical self-awareness takes practice like anything else, which brings us to the last step, repeat. So you could probably see that coming because of the whole like circular design thing. Go through the process over and over. It's practice, but it's not about playing scales faster or knowing the difference between C flat and B. It's just about making music that people want to listen to, including yourself. So when you get back to the listening step, now that includes listening to yourself, asking yourself, do I like what I hear? Why? Why not? And listen to others. People won't usually tell you if you suck, especially church people. So you kind of have to invite them to tell you. Maybe that doesn't mean saying, please tell me if I suck between songs in your worship set. But, you know, get a few honest musical friends. And that's it. If you have any shred of musicality in you, this cycle will kind of help develop that. And the more you do it, the more fun it gets. I have talked plenty, so good luck. And in the next video, I'll try to give some actual practical tips for things you can do if you do kind of suck. That's not very nice. That's not a nice way to say that at all. In the next video, I will talk about mediocrity and how you don't have to be super skilled to to play music that brings glory to God. That sounded way nicer. Bye!